and especially Newsome are really stepping up in that second quarter, making good things happen.
It's all about riding the hot hands. If you are the Meralco offense, 3 players in double digits for them in Cancino, Hodge, and Newsome as we check out some of the numbers. Bench scoring favoring the Nlex Vs Warriors by 10 perimeter points also in their side, but it's points inside the paint due to their rebounding, due to their size, and those second chance points that they find up.
Well, Cliff Hodges basically had a tremendous game. I mean, frankly, he could be done and say, hey, that's a pretty good night. 11 points, 9 rebounds for Cliff Hodge here in the first half alone, so he's making it happen. Also, you got to give credit to Bates, 7 rebounds already, so just those two guys alone, 16 big boards.
Only 5 scorers for Meralco outside of Essex O'Leary, Black with 5 on the other side. Balance scoring for Nlex Vs Warriors.
Yeah, they got 10 guys who scored tonight. Of course, led by Robert Lee Bowden with 9 points and 5 assists.
Right behind with 8 points. Let's see now. Change up between Clive Walker and Will now for us in this matchup. Should it be or only for the whole team? So far, 5 assists for
We got ourselves a game on that.
problem though is Buckets scored 5 attempts, 0 picks for him.
He's been getting some tough looks. Very well defended. Obviously, one of the offensive juggernauts of Meralco Wolves. He's special attention to him.
Cancino elevates to Hodge to start. For the Meralco circling down to the hard show. Quick pass to Hodge. No advantage there. They give it back to AB with 8 seconds on the shot clock. The attack, the flip shot was strong. Rebound for Policarpio.
Nice rebound by Pollock. Man, I like the way he came down. He's really protecting that ball. You have to around his ball. They're going to try to get that steal if possible. Like that.
With the one-man stop coming from Cliff Hodge. The deflection and the steal. Now he has the ball, gives it up to Cancino. Wasted possession for Nlex to open for the offense. Meanwhile, one-handers go. That's 5 straight points for Torres. He can beat up at any given point. Okito turns the corner, pops that basketball and hits the layup. His first bucket of the match.
Like Dr. J back in the day.
I don't know. That's where J is capturing.
Dr. K now.
Rebound for Nlex. That's a double-double now. Austin the break, sneaky pass, and there we go. Right by heel.
Caught him from behind.
One-forward pass, touchdown and one.
We talked about that earlier. Just the ball movement that's being shown by Nlex tonight is pretty impressive.
And it looks like Coach Novichiko told them there's no opportunity to have run.
Like the win, and they are doing just that. Being rewarded that time with a foul. Let's see if they can make a three-point play the traditional. That's a fly.
And one, yes, 5 points for the team now, and another assist from Nlex. Casino, and check line to the offense of the Meralco Bulls. Good swipe coming from Bahio. Strong hip, really making it difficult for Casino. Now Vito with it. Looking for a way to attack, takes it to Aaron Black quickly. Strong. Be a foul against Red Wings. So out of that work, and Meralco put in that second quarter.
You know what I'm noticing though? Cancino's getting double teamed pretty far away from the basket. Nobody else really is. So he's gonna have to play a little bit of a decoy here. If the double comes, step out. Somebody's gotta be open.
Numbers for Robert, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. As always, he will have a triple-double watch.
Pretty much every game is like that. Goes in and gets a lot of contact. Shoots some free throws.
Early entry for Cristobal in the third quarter because they played their best basketball when he was on attack mode. And his shot is not textbook. So he goes in, that's all they want. But he 11.8 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Last one against Phoenix.
JB. Famous initials for those parts. Very compact shot. I will give you that.
For two,
Right
for
in front of
Bahio.
you.
Back on 11.8, 58, 47. Basketball now, Cancino with it. Banks against Oleg. The shot inside, and then the perpetual motion of mid-range earns a couple of free throws for Meralco.
Well, what Cliff Hodge just always in there trying to mix things up and it's never active legs and arms. Just really making things happen for us.
We send it over the goal.
At the half, both teams made key adjustments heading into the final 2 quarters for Meralco. Assistant coach Carlos Riano pointed out that the Bulls looked much more organized in the second quarter, allowing them to trim Nlex's 14-point lead down to just 1. However, he was also being able to remind the team to minimize those mental mistakes, lock in defensively, and be smarter choosing their spots on offense. Meanwhile, for Nlex, Coach Borgi emphasized one major concern, being out-rebounded, particularly allowing 14 offensive boards to the Bulls. The message was clear. Boxal will give it out to shooters and capture boards harder to limit those second chance opportunities and to continue to choke the game together.
Thank you for that report. Looks like Nlex really cleaned that up.
face just right on the court. He's banging it right now. He's all right. Look at that play right before that where Mr. Newsom shows how strong he is. Once again going. He's very athletic and wide. I'll give him that. We go to this break. And next up, 58-51, 6:57 to go.
Back inside the United Center. And the action definitely heating up the watch. Still pleading his case to our table officials. Let's see what happened there. Layup. Oh, got need. Below the belt.
But was it an unnatural movement? That's another question that the referees are going to have to figure out.
Well, it was a no ball on the floor, so there is nothing to review, nothing to take another look at. The Punch, though, 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals. Outstanding effort as always.
Cliff is not happy. You can see it on his face.
Oh, yeah, heads back into this matchup to join Pascual, Quinto, and Newsom. As the offense started to flow for Meralco upon the entry of Newsom into the corner. Falling to the cross-court pass to Torres, another three.
Cyrus Torres making it ready. 0 points in the first half, but he has really turned it up here in the third.
Threes and a one-hander for Cyrus Torres as he's back in business. Back with double-digit lead for the Rose Warriors. Quinto brings up jumper. Foul against Cyrus.
Gonna be a landing spot as well. Oh no, I'm just gonna call a regular foul.
9 points, 8 rebounds, and then 9 assists now for Robert Morris. Look at that big down screen coming from Bahia, new angle, allowing Cyrus Torres to launch his 3-point shot that is brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook.
He shot that back here. I was trying to encourage his teammates. Hey guys, we're right here. Long way to go. We gotta chase the points one up.
They've already shown in the third quarter that they can raise a double-digit lead and do it rather quickly. Now they'll have to do it again. 3 for 2 for Bong Quinto. Putting some pressure against Robert Pollock. It will be J.E. Mokon who brings the ball down for Nlex. Now he's being hounded by Newsom. Pollock finally gets the touch against Comia. Pollock. Foul.
He's gonna go against Pascual. He's driving.
deficit down to 8. So far over Bowling has been in charge of the offense for Nlex, maximizing the looks for everyone else. Bowling defended by Cancino. They switch it on it now. Bowling on the half spin, turning out jumper is up.
That's good deal. Team by Quito.
Quito receives that forward pass. Another recovery defensively for Nlex. They leave Cancino open though. And then a foul against Semeral.
Good pass out. Cino went up. Let's see. They will review it. Samurai looked like he got close, but I'm not sure.
Would be big in favor of the Meralco Bulls here.
So really get that back. So I think that was a 3, right?
That is at least 3 free throws for them.
Let's see once again. Does he make contact? Let's see. We'll see about That's right, on both sides. Everybody had a bit. One said it was a flop, the other one said it was a landing spot. I'll let those guys over there in the green figure it out.
Ganda tingnan mo, baka makakapagod.
Big call here. That is tough for Nlex, as you not only give up free throws in possession, you also lose. Toby Semeral for the next 3 minutes.
He just made a 3 or 2, long 2 in that last play in the corner. And Coach Jong is in there. In this case, to deaf ears. Let's see once again. I wish we could really super zoom in on it. Is there contact? Yay or
I
nay?
think there was some contact in front of the fourth goal. CJ Cancino rushing. Chasing that wheel of Toby Semeral.
All eyes on the right foot.
Yes, a little bit.
It hits like the top of the left shoe of Samurai in the heel area. So because of that contact, this is the coaches. Anyway, it's a tough call. I mean, either way, nobody's
Everybody's looking. We have been in the PBA. We are favoring the shooters, right? So some of them unnaturally extend that forward foot to make some contact, even if they know that they will not be putting any weight upon catching that forward foot because of the way that we're calling it here in the PBA. The flame to foul is free. You get free throws. You get your opponent seated on the bench. You get ball possession, and it results to situations like that.
So because of that, 3 free throws for Mr. Cancino.
As we turn it over to Ben.
After quick 23 points, CJ Cancino couldn't hide how happy he was to finally see all of his offseason hard work pay off on the floor for the Bulls. But CJ was quick to give credit where it is due to his veteran teammates Nlex and Chris Newsom. He's sure that both these vets have been instrumental in guiding him on how to approach the game on both ends of the floor, from picking his spots, staying patient, and knowing when to attack, to making smarter reads instead of forcing those plays. Well, CJ admitted that this kind of mentorship has really helped
10 in this quarter. Another foul. This time away from play. As we take another look at this pass. That was loaded with power coming from Quito. Via with a fake. Drive and a teardrop. But he gives up the foul on the other side. Sending Silas Torres to the striker too.
Who also hits the deck. Just a great play all around. Great hustle play.
Corner of his eye, he saw a white jersey. I'm not even sure if he knew who it was, but then he gave the ball out to retake possession, and now they get to beat the Quito.
The guy who should be getting paid overtime tonight, the guy who's keeping the floor dry over there, having to work double hard.
Also known as the best friend of Cliff Hodge. Last trip to the free throw line on the other side was a split coming from Silas Torres. This was a 3-point lead, 64 to 61. Took an inch to lose. Quito 11 points, 6 rebounds. This is quiet from the Quito 5 only. That win versus Mongolia.
But we know he can just flip up the switch anytime and really go ballistic. See him go on tears on the offensive end. Yeah, he's guarding the ground.
That was the steal of the draft. Picked up in the second round by Meralco. Really finding a home, finding a goal in this one. 1 point lead. Colin kicks it out to Kevin Alas. Kevin dribbles it out his own from the table over. Baguio checks down the defense of Kyle Pascual. Baguio forces it.
There was so much hot there. Bowling is still arguing with the referees. Saying, "Hey, I should have gotten called, with a foul a while ago." But at the end of the day, Nlex gets to shoot a couple free throws. We will see them do just that right after this quick timeout. Nlex up 64-63.
Comia hands it off. Musa. No leaving his defense of Kevin Alas. Musa still trying to find an opening. An offensive foul.
Ball's gonna go against Hodge.
Hodge, yep.
Yeah, him and I think it was Bahia were really going at it inside. Big contact there.
Now, be the playmaker alongside Robert Rolling. Alas goes on the attack. Top angle. And the lap goes nowhere. Rebound to Kai Barnes. Some with it. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Fast screen coming from Pascual. And then he sends a pass to Pico. Pico, that'll be 3 seconds against Hodge. Everything's going too long to develop for the offense of Meralco.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was against Hodge. That was against him as well. Either way, still a turnover. What a play there. Just the ability to take that contact, still control his body, get a nice shot off, kisses it off the glass. Wonderful play. Great example of athleticism, strength there by Roosters.
18 points, perfect from the stripe. Off the bench, this dog completes the N1. 19 in the matchup now to lead all scorers. Take over Schwarzer, Smith, Bahio. Did not want to take the put-up jumper. Hand off to Kevin Alas. Herndon with space for three. Short.
Meralco wants to finish on a high note. Didn't start the quarter so well. Man, he played phenomenal latter part too. Well, that was kind of desperation time. He just kind of checked it up there, but great shot there by Cancino.
Robbie Herndon with a drive. Strong attack coming from him. He hits double digits as well with 10.
Just a half-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
So expect Meralco to build this clock. As both teams are in penalty. Musa will attack. To put the shot down. Hodge for three. No good. And that will be the end of our third quarter. closer towards the triple double 9, 8 and 10 for bowling on the other side. Newsome has been a spark plug of offense coming off the bench here for the Meralco Bulls with Cliff Hodge. I mean, where would they be without his effort? 9 offensive rebounds, really working hard for those extra possessions for the Meralco Bulls. And we will begin our fourth quarter with Meralco leading by 1.
11 points, 14 boards in the third quarter. Cliff Hodge going to work today.
Back that were working out in their last game against Phoenix. Those options are shut down by the defense of Meralco.
You can add to the stat line the Prisoners, so 19 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and a block.
Turn the net and fly it straight but short. Cancino meets Hodge. So the 5 for Meralco. Move in the 4th. They're going up against Alas, Ramirez, Nieto, Baguio. And Robert from the corner. 3-point shot is down. It's third of the game for Anjokara.
Give him that space. He will make you pay, that is for sure.
Biggest lead in the ball game for the Meralco Bulls. Really on point speed. Lost the foul and he will take it.
It's really backing down these guys. Listen to this once again. Bates gets in there, kicks it out. Cara gets a good look at that basket. And he's a dead eye from there.
Why some coaches wins with them not help from that corner. Campbell, and he paid for it with the 3-point conversion coming from Cara.
Cara, 3 out of 4 for all of his points tonight from beyond the arc. And Jukera with a big 9-point burst.
The fourth leading scorer of Nicaragua this one behind Cancino, Hodge, and Newsome. Second free throw. The line out against Baguio. Newsome will wait for Cliff Hodge. Set up. Newsome all of a sudden goes on the attack. Gives up the left, miss it, Hodge. And then Newsome gives up a foul from behind Kevin Alas.
Wasn't a lot of contact, but it's just enough for the referee to blow that whistle. I guess.
Another question now for Nlex is how much rest can you afford Robert Bowling to extend his minutes in that third quarter? Because you had to now. How much rest would he be giving up?
Well, if Meralco starts to run away a little bit, expect him back on the court. Look at his splits.
Transition take foul against Newsome after missing this layup. They've been missed as well. See Kevin Alas was already ahead of Newsome leading to this free throw. As we resume action with Nlex having 23 seconds in the shot clock. 72-69 is the count now. Alas winning his options. This pass snap. It goes out of bounds. It will stay with Nlex. 15 on the clock for them.
Hands there by Jukera.
Almost a steal for Anjokara, but it was legal to pick up for Nieto. Matt Milo, shot is gone. Meralco, pull-up jumper from the elbow, won't go in. Rebound picked up by Kevin Alas again. Rebounding, working out for the Blue Shirts here in the fourth quarter. Semerad, quick trigger, three-point shot, no good.
He should have took a dribble to the corner. Taking the defense with him. Look at him once again. Policarpio first with the nice spot up three. Right on line. Once again going in hard here against Cancino. Takes him right to the rack. That brings us to a quick timeout. We are in the fourth quarter, 7:55 to go. And next by 8.
Hello sa mga kababayan natin dyan sa Dubai. Dahil tayo sa Coca-Cola Arena, Pag 6, Ginebra versus San Miguel. Isa kita tayo dyan. Perfect.
11 p.m. later, live telecast on RPTV, PBA Rush, Pilipinas Live, and the One Sports YouTube channel. Big one. San Miguel Beermen versus Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. Now have a report from Spain.
Carlos, just a quick update on the huddle for Nlex Vs Meralco. Took the time to drop offensive sets to help his team protect their lead. However, with Cliff Hodge on the floor for Meralco, there was a reminder for his players not directly matched up with him to assert themselves and finding ways to create those scoring opportunities and spark those offensive runs. While for Meralco, that strong 63 surge to end the third quarter was credited for their collective defensive effort. According to star Sandro Soriano, but to stay within striking distance, the focus now is on controlling the boards and managing the game's tempo. Jonathan.
Thank you for that report, May. And let's see who will be able to listen to their coaches and turn that to action on the floor. Top pass, stolen. Bunch of turnovers against the Meralco Bulls here in the opening minutes of the fourth.
Can't let those opportunities pass you by.
Barrio has it. Put back inside. Allows the lead. It's gone. Another and one for the Road Warriors.
Again, good pass to Nlex for the Road Warriors. That time Alas on the receiving end. Nice pass there. Goes up. Not a huge foul, but enough for the referee to blow that whistle.
Turnovers really piling up for Meralco here in the fourth. Allowing fast break opportunities. That is an and one completed by Kevin Alas.
Just do some. Trying to make something happen. It's a 15-point run.
From a 4-point deficit to an 11-point lead. Cancino still coming up strong. Bates put back finally something on the Bulls.
They get a 15-2 run. Thanks to Mr. Bates. They need to make some stops.
Barrio on the attack. Stretches for the layup and beats Bates.
Impressive, man.
to rush for the Nlex Vs Warriors. They can set up a play. Pauling goes on the drive, kicks it out. Semela to the corner. No. Meralco rushing down the court. They know it's Tomia. Pull it back out, give it up fakes. Now Nusam has it. Top ball screen action. Nusam. The field screen was too rough. They're gonna clear it out. Bates.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was good. But you can't. I mean,
You
maybe
can just pull those up there. You can't just yank him out of position. But it's more than enough time to recover, throwing it out the balls. This is just a 7-point game. Torres to Pauling. 4:30 remaining in this matchup. Pauling still with it. Pulls the trigger from downtown. No. Rebound grab and recovered by Nusam. Now bodies have run back on defense for Nlex. They give up a foul as Devon finishes once again. He will take two.
still on the ground again. Second time tonight. This guy is just a warrior. He's okay. He always have that extra, like, I hope he's okay.
And Cliff Hodge, 13 points, 15 rebounds, 10 of them offensive, 5 defensive, 2 steals and a block in this matchup. But look at this. This is a surprising number for me. When he was on the floor, Meralco is a minus 22. So the biggest runs for the Nlex Vs Warriors happened when Meralco had Hodge.
That's crazy. You would think, they're playing much better when he's there.
That's just how the numbers work out. Cancino 20 points, leading their scoring. Nusam with 19. On the other side, multiple double-digit scorers, 4 to be exact for Nlex. Mario, Baguio, Alas, Merton, Zachary, Pauling was not back to double digits. He has been stuck at 9.
Hasn't exploded the way he usually does. He is playing great basketball right now. Wherever he wants. It's just a mismatch. The way he can just post up, not just guards, but even guys his own height.
Still a lot of time remaining in their clock. Nusam with it versus Silas Torres. Nusam creates. Nusam turn around jumper. My goodness, what a bang from you.
That's one you gotta say. Great defense, but even better offense. What a shot there.
They will stay in the game in those
Doesn't play. the
Pira mo.
weight or strength there is
Pira.
still too much.